Let's take a step back. See, a lot of us grow up believing that success comes from talent and hard work. Just put your head down, follow the rules, and eventually it'll pay off. Or it should pay off. But what if that's only part of the story? What if success also depends on invisible factors, like when you were born, or what kind of access you had growing up? These are the personal thoughts that I've been grappling with as I try to circumvent the murky waters of unemployment. In the last few weeks actually, I've been in search of answers. And I came across an interesting book, one that I've encountered previously but never really paid attention to, with a potentially center shifting argument. In this video, I want to share 4 lessons from outliers that have helped me embrace being different and stop chasing some cookie cutter version of success. They've answered some questions and given me more. But the point is this: if you've ever felt like you're meant for more, but you're not sure why you haven't gotten there, this video is for you. So let's get into it. The first lesson is opportunity isn't equal. Timing matters. Let's talk about Bill Joy. He's one of the founding minds behind the internet. He's a co-founder of Sun Microsystems, and he was a key contributor to Unix and Java. You've probably heard of those. But what made him great wasn't just raw talent. It was access. You see, in the early 1970s, he was enrolled at University of Michigan, one of the few schools in the world at the time with a computer lab that offered free unlimited time sharing access. Now, it was free, not necessarily unlimited, but he found a way around that. It became unlimited for him. What that meant was students could write and test code directly without having to punch cards or wait in line. It was cutting edge, and almost no one else had it. No one else had that access to early stage computing to practice and feel like he did. Bill Joy didn't just love programming, he had the perfect playground to practice. Now, here's what really blew my mind. He was born in 1954, right on time to catch the wave of computing just as it was beginning to break. Not too early when access didn't exist, and not too late when the field was already crowded. And that's something you're going to see as we go along. Everyone who's successful is born at a particular time. Just think about that. It's not just about discipline. It's about when and where you get to practice. That realization has helped me understand that comparison isn't really the best metric for success. Because not everyone starts from the same place or at the same time. And maybe that's a good thing. Look, I'm not trying to make excuses. But you have to be able to shift and realize that you need to start asking better questions. Essentially, what time are you in? What time am I in? What resources around us have we been ignoring? Where can we go to create our own Michigan lab that's going to give us the opportunity to practice perfectly, fail, learn, with no real consequences, and be ready for the next opportunity of our generation? That's the first thing. The second lesson is that legacy shapes us, and the system isn't fair. You see, Gladwell tells the story of a group of Jewish lawyers born in the early 1930s, like Joe Flum. I hope I got that right. But he's a name most people haven't heard but should. Flum was a founding partner at Skadden and Arps, one of the most powerful law firms in the country. In the world, actually. But he didn't start there. He was born in 1933, at the tail end of the Great Depression. Again, why does his date of birth matter? Because during times of economic distress, such as the Great Depression, overall, people have fewer children. Economic instability often produces a lower birth rate, and I think that makes logical sense. But the thing we're trying to understand here is, what does that mean for the children born around that time? It means less competition. They have more resources and fewer people to compete for said resources. For Flum, that meant smaller class sizes and less competition for elite school placements. Flum got into Harvard Law, not because of some legacy privilege, although that is important, but because there was literally more room. But here's the twist. Jewish lawyers like Flum weren't welcome at the big white shoe firms at the time. They were pushed out. Racism was still a thing, is still a thing. And they were left to take whatever cases the elite firms thought were beneath them. Those cases included proxy fights, corporate takeovers, hostile mergers, the dirty side of business law that the big boys didn't want to touch. But then came the 1970s and 80s, when corporate America changed, and those exact legal strategies became the heart of Wall Street. Suddenly, you have lawyers who had been shut out that were now the most equipped for this time. Just think about that. Sometimes being excluded puts you in a position for the future. And once again, we see that timing matters in destiny. Time and place all play a role in giving an unequal advantage to the great, whether they realize it or not. For Flom, it was at the time of his birth. You are born right after the Depression. All of a sudden, you have less competition. You see, something I actually failed to mention was, at the time, because of the Great Depression, you had professors in universities that were looking for jobs and decided that, due to the economic instability, that they were going to transition and get jobs in high schools and, work there. So right about when Flom would have been getting into high school, his professors, or most of his professors, good chunk of his professors, good chunk of his teachers, I beg your pardon, would have been professors from university. So not only did he have access to less competition, more resources, but he also had access to the best resources. Imagine being in high school and being taught by a university professor. It's just unprecedented. And so those are the little advantages that compound, or at least that compounded for him. And then later on, he becomes this big name and everybody's like, yeah. But no, it's time and chance. It's always time and chance. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. YouTube says more than 60% of you guys watching are not subscribed. And it would mean the world to me if you subscribe right now. Everything on this channel is about becoming a better man, physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's about discussing how we men can get closer to God and realize our fullest potential by doing the hard thing. If that resonates with you, hit the subscribe button right now and let's get back to the video. And that brings us to our third lesson. See, access is everything, even for talent to matter. Bill Gates is another name that Gladwell uses again and again. But it's not just about his talent, although he did have a lot of it. But you see, talent is only valuable if you can develop it. And I think we live in a society today that is so fixated on this idea of innate capacity, as opposed to the opportunity to actually perfectly develop this innate capacity. I think the latter is just as important as the former. It's perfect opportunity to be able to develop your talent that makes it valuable. You see, Gates had access to computers at the Lakeside School, one of the only middle schools in the US that bought a computer terminal in the 1960s, and they let students use it freely. Just think about that. I think the equivalent of that today would be building an AI data center in middle school and giving kids free range. So by the time people were just discovering computers, Gates had thousands of hours of coding experience. And again, when was he born? 1955. Right in that sweet spot to be a teenager when personal computing was just becoming accessible. It's really just boiling down to time and chance. But what does that mean for us? It means talent isn't enough. Desire isn't enough. You have to find ways to build access or create it for others. We have to ask very difficult questions like, where can I get access? What type of access do I even need? Who can I learn from? What practice do I need? And how can I get it? What am I interested in? What am I called to do? Those are the things that are really going to move the needle. Because when you have nothing to do, when you're actually idle, you should be investing in the thing that's going to keep you busy until the day you die. The fourth lesson is that being an outlier isn't a curse. It's a clue. All these stories share something in common. The people who made it didn't just work harder. I mean, they did work harder. But that's not the point. They saw something others didn't, combined with their ability to work hard. They were outliers, not just in success, but in experience, in timing, in culture, in mindset. They were truly set apart. And instead of running from that, they leaned into it, whether they realized it or not. Right now, I'm in an interesting place. See, mentally, I'm starting to really grapple with the meaning of Ecclesiastes 9:11. That says, I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. To them all. It's a shared commodity amongst everyone. Life truly is about time and chance, the timing of opportunity and the chance to get in perfect practice. We must continually ask ourselves, how do I align myself for the opportunities in my generation? What is God doing now? And maybe that means waiting and experiencing delay. Maybe it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with time. Those are the questions I'm currently grappling with. And hopefully, I have some more answers or even more questions on the next episode of 22 Jobless Nigerian in Canada. But until then, I'll leave you with this. I think the only way to truly get the very best out of life is to continually aim upwards, right? Now I'm drawing that it's most beneficial if you aim in the direction of maximal utility in line with purpose. Ergo, what is that one thing you can do that will do the most good and you feel God pulling you to do? And what can you do today to work in that direction? That's your perfect practice while no one is watching. That is your room for error season. Because the moment the lights go on and someone flips a switch, you're on stage. You can't miss a beat. You can't fall on yourself. Because you missed the opportunity now and it's gone. It's never coming back. The people that failed to take advantage of the computer boom in the 70s, they missed it. The guy who designed the logo for Apple and ended up getting paid in cash as opposed to equity, he missed it. It's never coming back again. You get one shot at this. So it's best you find out where your purpose, where your life would best serve purpose, and harness as much good from that as you possibly can in the interim, while it seems like nothing is going on. Call me foolish, call me delusional, but maybe delay is all part of timing. Those are my thoughts. Until next time, peace, love and light, guys. Take it easy. Don't forget, Jesus loves you.